Hello, welcome to a video series called Lore and Crochet, in which I tell you some lore and fun facts about a cozy game character while I crochet a small plush of them. Today we're taking a deep dive into the Junimo lore from Stardew Valley. The pattern that I'm following today was created by me, casualcozy, and you can find the free written pattern linked in the description below. Now let's get to the lore. Junimos are somewhat secretive and extremely cute magical beings in Stardew Valley. They seem to be considered fairy tale creatures by most other characters in the game. We get a couple hints at this in Sam's 14 Heart event. They're described as fictional TV show characters, and they're also included in the title of a book that we can find in Penny's room, Fairies, Junimos, and Other Fables. Although most of the townsfolk don't seem to believe they're real, we of course know better. As players, we first meet them in the community center, and later we receive an explanation from the wizard that they are forest spirits that have trusted us with restoring the community center. During our first cutscene with Rasmodius, we learned that the Junimos have their own language and that they don't communicate with just anyone. There's even an in-game Junimo alphabet, which is a substitution cipher. Each symbol corresponds to one letter in the English alphabet. After imbibing a magic potion that the wizard brewed to help us commune with the forest, players learn to read the secret alphabet and can begin to complete bundles for the Junimos by collecting items found throughout the valley. Completing every bundle in a community center room leads to an improvement somewhere in the valley, and a Junimo adds a star to the community center completion tally. One of the sweet details that I love about going the community center route in Stardew is that after you complete a room and the Junimo places the star, it'll actually follow you around until you leave the building. After every star has been placed, the community center will be repaired and the Junimos will return to the forest, giving the player the local legend achievement. The Junimos in the community center bid the player goodbye and return to the forest, but that's not all we see of the Junimos. In version 1.4, the missing bundle was introduced, extending an opportunity for one last town improvement granted by Junimo magic. After completing the community center, a cutscene will trigger in which a bolt of lightning strikes the abandoned Joja Mart on the first night before a rainy day, opening its doors to reveal the missing bundle. Inside, we meet our final Junimo, who will find its way home after we help collect a few of the rarer items in the game. Of course, all of this is only true for players who take that community center route. If the player buys a Joja membership, Joja Mart never becomes abandoned, and the community center is turned into a Joja warehouse. The player never sees any Junimos after this point, unless they construct a Junimo hut, which is a very convenient segue to our next bit of Junimo lore. Junimo huts are buildings that can be placed on the farm after completing the Goblin Problem quest for the wizard. The harvest range for these Junimos is a 17 by 17 square of tiles that's centered on the hut's doorway. Just a couple of notes about using Junimo huts. Although the player doesn't gain farming experience from crops that are harvested by Junimos, our farming level does influence the quality of crops regardless of who's doing the harvesting. Junimos will not collect crops during winter or when it rains. They also won't collect forage crops that are grown from wild seeds, anything grown from a garden pot, giant crops, or fruit from trees. The Junimos will stop gathering crops at 7:10 p.m. and much like me, they are inefficient harvesters, so obstacles will slow them down, sometimes preventing them from completing a harvest in a single day, or even blocking them from leaving the hut at all. Junimo huts also provide some of my very favorite secret note lore in Stardew Valley. In secret note number 24, we learn that Junimos will appear in abandoned buildings as part of the process of nature reclaiming places that humans have neglected. This note also gives us a piece of folk wisdom that the Junimos display resonant affinity with gemstones. This hint is how players learn that placing a mineral or a gem in a Junimo hut will transform the Junimos to a specific color, generally matching the color of the mineral, or in the case of a prismatic shard, leading to an ever-changing rainbow appearance. My personal favorite. Secret Note 24 and Secret Note 26 both tip off the player that Junimo's favorite snack is raisins, an artisan good introduced in 1.6 that are made from placing grapes inside a dehydrator. If a player places raisins inside the Junimo hut, the Junimos have a 20% chance of harvesting double crops. They will consume one bag of raisins every week, and a small sign is placed outside the hut while the buff is in effect. And even if you prefer to do your harvesting yourself, you can still enjoy some Junimo joy elsewhere after completing the community center or the JojaMart membership. Here are a few of the other Junimo related references throughout the game. Starting with the title screen, if you click on any of the leaves on the title 10 times, 3 Junimos will pop up and give you a little wave. Players can also collect a decorative Junimo plush by interacting with a bush north of the playground at noon on the 28th of any season. There's also a few other ways to get Junimo plushes. The Junimo catalog includes a wide range of Junimo-themed furniture items and little plushes for decorating your house. You can also win Junimo plushes from the crane game in the theater. And finally, players can search for a hidden stone Junimo statue, which you can find with or without Secret Note 14. There's also a way to find some Junimos outside of your Stardew save, and it doesn't even involve drinking any suspicious potions. Like our blue chickens from last episode of Lore and Crochet, Junimos are another Terraria Stardew crossover cutie, with the Junimo pet option being available to Terraria players. According to the Terraria wiki, in order to get a Junimo pet, players first purify a Joja Cola from the Dryad and receive a Star Drop, which acts as a pet summoning item that spawns a Junimo to follow the player around. The Junimo pet buff tooltip reads Keeper of the Forest, which is pretty similar to how they're described in Stardew. As some bonus lore to the Junimo facts, the Star Drop tooltip in Terraria also bears some striking similarities to the Stardew description. And last but not least, I guess, I wanted to share one of the more unhinged facts that I learned while researching the Junimo lore. Did you know that it's possible to fire a slingshot at Junimos? Although the ammo will hit the Junimo, they don't show a hate bubble the way that an NPC would. There's just a bursting animation and nothing else. I'm hoping this means that Junimos are kind of like impervious to slingshot damage, but I don't know. Do with this information what you will. And there we have it. Our Junimo cutie is complete. Please remember that you can find the free written pattern linked in the description, and if you made it this far with me, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. What cozy game cutie should I make next?